If you want to take down America's current system, it's actually not that difficult. And that's what makes it so hard. I know it sounds crazy, but think of it this way: Russia, China, a bunch of other authoritarian regimes all around the world rely on violence and fear to stay in power. And it works because the only way the government will change is if the people rise up, risk their lives, and start the revolution. Now, ideally, in America, you're allowed to change your government by voting for the right politicians, but how does that happen if the Democrat and Republican Party keep putting candidates that are just equally disgusting? All right, then what is the way that Americans can actually change the government? You guys just have to start spending less money. I swear to you, it is actually that simple. The United States is the world's largest consumer by far. It's not even close. We have total consumer spending at $18.8 trillion. China, of course, is the next runner-up, but it's not even close. They consume only $7 trillion per year. And mind you, China has a population of 1.4 billion people, more than 4 times that of the American population. Even if you add up the next 4 countries in consumer spending, it doesn't approach America. Every country in the world wants to sell their goods to American consumers, including American corporations, and this is where we can get them in a weak spot. If every American decided to just spend 5% less a year, that would bring this government and the entire banking system down to its knees. Take a look at this chart. It is a look at the consumer spending drop upon every major recession since 1973. And look, 1973 was the worst one by far, negative 3.4%. Look at the Great Recession, okay? For most of the people in my generation, that was the worst economic catastrophe, and consumer spending only dropped by 2.1%. Now, of course, there's 2020, COVID, and just within a couple of months, consumer spending did drop by 16.7%, but that was because the entire world shut down. A 1% drop in consumer spending is a dire warning for a potential recession. A 5% drop in consumer spending means that, okay, yeah, there is a huge recession, potentially a depression on the way. Our entire banking and corporate system is designed to get you guys to be consumers in every facet of your life. They have spent billions of dollars brainwashing you into thinking, well, if something breaks or tears or is old, I should just get another one. All you have to do is slow that down just by a little bit. It would be enough to have this country declare a type of economic emergency. The president would absolutely be telling people they need to spend more money. The Federal Reserve would be issuing stimulus. They would do anything they could to get you guys to keep spending. And if the boycott stayed in place, then the government and Congress would start issuing actual reforms that benefited all Americans from both sides of the aisle. And most likely, the DNC and the RNC would start fielding candidates that people might actually vote for. Not just the old farts who always vote, but people my age or even younger, people in their 20s and 30s. And these candidates would need to do more than just pay lip service to the issues that we want addressed. Because right now, the candidates that you and I are fed are just meant to keep the status quo. They pay a little bit of lip service, mention issues that are sensitive to us, and then do nothing because they see, okay, consumption keeps going up. I can keep making money. Foreign direct investment can keep coming in. We're just going to keep getting along with this for as long as we can get away with it. But if all of us just slow down the flow of money by just a little bit, that destroys the status quo, and that's when the wealthy and powerful start panicking. All of you being tired with overpriced healthcare coverage or medication that costs 4 times in America, more than anywhere else in the world, that's a valid issue. Enough of us can actually get that addressed if we slow down the money supply. Are you a fellow firearm owner who wants reasonable gun control to make sure that the actual laws that are put in place are enforced? Okay, that's a valid issue. Boycott. Do you want to kick big money out of politics and have Citizens United overturned? Okay, let's do it. The reason why I said dropping our consumption by 5% is very hard is because Americans have been bred for generations to be addicted to convenience. And that is how the system keeps going the way it does. But keep this in mind, even if you guys can do the hard part and start abandoning convenience and actually stop your spending, that is going to result in a great deal of unemployment. That the economy cannot function in that manner if people don't properly consume. If personal consumption does start dropping, we will see massive layoffs. You will see property values drop. You will also see an increase in crime. We will also most likely see people who still have jobs see their wages start to fall or at the very least stagnate. And the question is, are you guys willing to risk that? Are you willing to risk you potentially losing your job, your property value going down, and you being in an area that may have a higher incidence of crime? And even if you are you willing to put other people through this? And last of all, how long can you last in this state of instability? And as bad as all of that sounds, none of it would be as devastating for the Russian people if they decided to have a revolution, or the people of any country that is currently run by an authoritarian regime. All this inconvenience that I just listed is a cakewalk compared to what most of the people in the world would have to do for their freedom. So, guys, just think about this post, mull it over, and just realize that you thinking that you cannot live a day or a few weeks or a few months without everything that you have, that has been planned since before you were born. That is how the system keeps on winning against you. I am the Geo Husar, and we all deserve to be living in a better America. Thanks for watching.